be indefinite, and this strike shall be on until we have a new national minimum wage.
Until we sign an agreement on what is mutually agreeable by the parties, our action will be on. But our action is not such that we will not equally negotiate. Because the two parties are now going to negotiate under duress. We're under pressure. They will be under pressure.
With many Nigerians still battling with the increasing cost of living, many are optimistic that government will yield to labor's demand and review the nation's minimum wage to a living wage. The
Nigerian Labour Congress has directed its state branches to mobilize their members for participation in the nationwide strike action scheduled to begin today, June 3rd, 2024. A circular by its General Secretary Emmanuel Ogbuaja to all its states consul reminded them of the failure of the Nigerian states to agree on a new national minimum wage and subsequently pass it into law before the end of May. The circular also observed that the failure of the government to reverse the hike in electricity tariff without consulting the stakeholders as required by law from 225 naira back to 66 naira per kilowatt, and the categorization of the Nigerian electricity consumers into brands. It therefore requested all state consuls to mobilize all their affiliates and members across the state to stay away from work commencing midnight Sunday to ensure a comprehensive closure of all workplaces. Meanwhile, critical sectors of the workforce, including the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, National Union of Electricity Employees, Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, National Union of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions Employees, and other critical sector unions have already written to their members to ensure total compliance. The Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, NECA, has urged organized labor to shelve its planned indefinite strike as it could reverse the recent marginal gains on the economy. NECA's Director General, Mr. Adewale Smart Oyerinde, who made the call in a statement at the weekend, said the strike could incapacitate the private sector. Oyerinde said that the call for strike was ill-timed and ill-advised and would not only impoverish Nigerians, but also escalate the already worrisome unemployment situation. The Director General, however, said that the organized private sector would do all that is necessary within extant legislation to protect its interests and survival should the strike commence. He observed, however, that in the current macroeconomic circumstances, the odds were greatly stacked against organized businesses with consequential effects on job security. Sarab demands transparency from governors over local government elections. Details in a moment. The Director General, National Orientation Agency, NOA, Lanre Issa Onilu, says the new national anthem is a symbol of Nigerians' allegiance and loyalty to the country. Issa Onilu, who states this in Uyo while speaking to newsmen on some key programs currently being implemented by the agency, applauded President Bola Tinubu for signing the new national anthem law, saying that the anthem contained better lyrics and more meaning. He said that the new anthem not only brought back a sense of patriotism and nationalism, but evoked the consciousness of Nigerians. Issa Onilu noted that the national anthem is part of the values of a country which should make the citizens to appreciate one another. He said the agency would soon begin the process of fashioning out a proper and acceptable way of rendering the anthem. The DG urged Nigerians to remain steadfast in supporting the policies and programs of the current administration to ensure better service delivery. Residents of the metropolitan Gwale, Dala, and municipal local government areas in Kano State have called on the State Police Command to deploy more operatives across the city and its environs to bolster security. A cross-section of the residents who expressed their dismay and fear over the growing presence of thugs amidst the ongoing emirship tussle in the state appealed to Governor Abba Yusuf to establish a plausible comprehensive security network to address the situation once and for all. Alhaji Abubakar Mohammed, a resident of Gwale local government area, who who shared his personal experience of his wife being robbed by thugs while speaking with the News Agency of Nigeria on Sunday, appealed to the Commissioner of Police to deploy more security personnel to bring the perpetrators to justice. The residents are calling for increased security measures, including foot patrols and deployment of plain-clothes operatives to apprehend the thugs with a view to restoring peace to the community. They emphasize that the activities of these criminal-minded youths posed a significant threat to the peace of Kano, had been enjoying before the onset of the Immership tussle. Reacting to the developments, the Commissioner of Police, Hussaini Gumel, assured the residents that the command was on top of the situation and had mapped out security measures to apprehend those involved. The Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, wants Nigeria's 36 state governors to disclose comprehensive details regarding the state independent electoral commissions operating within their jurisdiction as a way enhancing transparency and accountability in the electoral system. In an official statement on Sunday, SERAP urged the governors to promptly reveal crucial information concerning the chairpersons and members of the electoral bodies, including their qualifications, political affiliations, if any, and the mechanism surrounding their appointment. It emphasized the necessity for the governors to furnish the public with detailed reports regarding the outcomes of local government elections conducted since 1999, along with the voters' register associated with said elections. SERAP underscored concerns raised by the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who recently lamented that local government elections across various states had devolved into mere rituals favoring candidates affiliated with the ruling parties. The demands are contained in a Freedom of Information request dated June 1st, 2024, and signed by SERAP's Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, which stressed the constitutional obligation of state governors to establish and uphold the independence of electoral commissions, ensuring fair and impartial conduct of local government elections. It expressed at the alleged interference by state governors in the operations of sex and apparent manipulation of local government elections, which is incompatible with Nigeria's rights to effectively participate in their government. The agency specifically emphasized on the dangers associated with dichlorovos, a chemical commonly used by traders to safeguard food from spoilage. The Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, who's issued the stern warning in a press statement, explained that the sale of small volume dichlorovos sold as sniper has been banned since 2019, while the sale of the large volume of 1 liter is limited to certified agrochemical outlets. Responding to a viral video showing individuals using dangerous chemicals to preserve food items like beans, stockfish, and crayfish, Adeyeye urged traders and merchants to desist from using unauthorized chemicals on food meant for human consumption. He noted that food remaining unspoiled for an extended period might indicate pesticide contamination rather than freshness unless stored in a refrigerator. The federal government says it has secured foreign direct investment to the tune of 20 billion naira towards facilitating local production of assistive devices for persons with disabilities. The Executive Director, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, Dr. James Lalu, disclosed this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja on Sunday. Lalu said the need to source for investors in the manufacturing of locally made assistive devices for persons with disabilities became necessary due to the high cost of the imported devices. He added that promoting local content in the manufacturing of assistive devices will go a long way to increase patronage and boost to procure and distribute them to the disability communities. Germany highlights urgency in Ukraine's air defense system to fight Russia. This and more after the break. Stay with us. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees have introduced a special program to enhance the welfare of refugees and displaced persons in the West African region. The ECOWAS Commissioner for Human Development and Social Affairs, Professor Fatal Sarr, who inaugurated the program during the ambassadors' retreat in Port Harcourt, stressed the importance of synergy in the protection and provision of welfare services for refugees and displaced persons in the region. Sarr highlighted the significant contributions of partners towards the success of various initiatives aimed at protecting and ensuring the well-being of displaced persons. Mr. Xavier Kresh, the Deputy Director, UNHCR Regional Bureau for Africa, expressed gratitude for ECOWAS assistance and cooperation in addressing the needs of refugees, stateless persons, and displaced populations. And elsewhere, Germany's Chief of Defense, General Carsten Brauer, said on Sunday called for greater flow of artillery ammunition to strengthen Ukraine's air defense in fight against Russia. More than 2 years after Russia invaded Ukraine, the country faces renewed assaults on its territory, particularly in the region around the northeast city of Kharkiv. Brauer told Reuters during an interview on the sidelines of the ISS Shangri-La dialogue that Ukraine needs not only air defenses, but artillery ammunition and weapon systems to fight against Russia. He pointed out that Russia is reconstituting on their own forces in a time frame and predicted that the most dangerous course would be in 2029. He said there is to take a look into the future and do a little bit of crystal balling of seeing when to be ready to defend Ukraine and the entire NATO and NATO territory. Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong on Sunday met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky after he addressed the last day of the Shangri-La Dialogue Forum. On his trip to Singapore, Zelensky asked for support and participation at a summit in Switzerland later this month aimed at bringing peace to his war-ravaged nation. On Telegram, Zelensky said he had invited Wong to personally participate in the peace summit. Zelensky also met separately with Singapore's President Tharman Shanmugaratnam, whom he thanked for the country's clear position on Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Australia has asked for military talks with China, its Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles said on Sunday. Marles said Australia's recent encounters with China's military fell short of being safe and professional, saying he discussed the issue with Chinese Defense Minister Dong Jun on the sidelines of the Shangri-La dialogue on Saturday. He said there was a very positive sense from both sides about wanting to grow the dialogue and get it ultimately back to where it was before it was stopped. Chinese defense officials met their Australian counterparts in Canberra last year in their first formal meeting since 2019. Since then, Australia has complained of a close encounter with a Chinese jet over the Yellow Sea and sonar being deployed while Australian divers were in waters close to Japan, which is said was dangerous. Surveillance video obtained by Reuters shows the moment a building collapsed into a street in southern Istanbul as people waited to board a bus nearby. The video shows dust engulfing the street after the disintegrating building narrowly missed the bus as the front facade fell to the ground. Local media reported the collapse happened in the city's Kokosekamisi districts and that one person was killed while 8 others were rescued from the rubble. Reuters was able to confirm the location from the nearby buildings, restaurants, logo, and road layouts, which matched satellite and file imagery of the area. It also confirmed the dates the video was filmed by a timestamp on the footage and corroborating aftermath videos from the scene. And that's the news this hour. We're getting back to the morning show. Stay with us. We'll be back afterwards. back to the morning show. Today, Monday, 3rd of June, 2024. We're excited to have you back from that news. Interesting news, Josh.
Yeah, it really was. It was interesting getting to hear some new latest info again.
I mean, I don't know if you caught up with the Champions League final for the weekend.
I did. It was an amazing it was an amazing one for Real Madrid, the Hala Madrid. And Madrid fans are saying hala to you guys. You guys really did well. But according to what I read online and what I watched, Madrid didn't really put up their best game. They just, I think it was a lucky one for them, seeing what happened.
Absolutely. They didn't come to the party, but I think experience played a huge role in that game. Those boys played Real Madrid game. Like
the first half was a Dortmund game. Dortmund really dominated the first half. It was really just very good one from Toni Kroos. That his cross that gave them their first goal. It was a really good one. It was a good one. But then Dortmund, for me, Dortmund should have won that game.
Hard luck for them. Young boys, you know, they were crying their heart out.
Yes.
These days they say tears cannot really win you games. Nearly doesn't really win you games, because I understand that if that first goal that hit the bar had gone in, I'm sure that would have had a totally different dynamic.
Yes, their confidence level would have gone up and everything would have been different. And seeing that Madrid, just like you said, experience, these guys have won it for 14 times. This was their 15th time winning the Champions League. So these guys are coming with much more confidence, and it was good for them.
Right, so we're headed over to the newspaper headlines and reviews. I hope you can join us. We're starting off with the Vanguard newspaper. And on the Vanguard this lovely morning, the 3rd of June 2020.